The boy was astonished to discover a little girl less than 10 centimeters tall in the yard. He moved closer to take a careful look, but unexpectedly, she vanished without a trace. After the boy left, the tiny figure emerged from under a leaf. Arrietty, in order not to be discovered by humans, hurried across the grass. But just as Arrietty was about to reach home, a cat suddenly rushed over, seemingly mistaking her for a mouse. Fortunately, she quickly hid inside a vent, and thus made it home safely after the scare. It turned out that Arrietty had ventured out to find a bay leaf for her mother. Her family belonged to the tiny people, living beneath the floors of humans. They borrowed all the daily necessities they needed. That day, a 12-year-old boy came to the countryside to stay. As he suffered from a severe heart condition, the boy had to move here to recuperate, which led to the incident that had just occurred. When Arrietty's father returned, his face was filled with worry. He noticed that a little boy had moved into the human house, which meant borrowing things would become more challenging in the future. Arrietty also told her father about her encounter with the boy. It turned out that her father had promised Arrietty they could go borrowing together tonight, but this sudden change left him uncertain. After careful consideration, her father decided to take his daughter along after all, as Arrietty had grown up, and learning the skill of borrowing was essential. That evening, Arrietty excitedly changed into new clothes, put on knee-high boots, and tied her hair into a neat ponytail. Once everything was ready, her father set off with her. A small lantern illuminated the path ahead, and her father's figure seemed even more imposing than usual. Suddenly, they encountered a fearsome cockroach, but Arrietty fearlessly drove it away. They crossed a bridge made of nails, climbed onto a partition, and her father handed the lantern to Arrietty for safekeeping. The next step required using a pulley to ascend. Following her father's demonstration, Arrietty also stepped onto the ladder. As she climbed higher, she carefully leaped into her father's arms. After passing through a cabinet, they finally reached the borrowing spot. This was Arrietty's first time seeing a human kitchen, and the array of items left her dazzled. The first item they needed to borrow was a cube of sugar on the table opposite. Her father slid down using a rope, his movements so fluid he seemed like a warrior. Then he quickly approached the cabinet, stuck double-sided tape to the soles of his shoes, and was able to climb onto the table. In the end, he successfully retrieved the sugar cube and placed it in his backpack. Next, all they needed was to take a tissue, and their mission would be complete. But just as the father and daughter pulled out the tissue, Arrietty was horrified to discover